Is it on?
Yeah, what are you reading?
Okay, so a couple weeks ago I was invited to be at a conference and sit on a panel. It was a conference on shareholder activism, and I sat on a panel with a couple other professionals. And we're supposed to talk about what happens after an activist wins a seat on a board, and how do things move forward after that. Anyway, I wrote a blog about some of the comments that I made at the conference, and it's on LinkedIn if you want to link in with me. Anyway, what I said was that I'm a full-time value investor and only a reluctant and occasional activist, just like I'm a reluctant and occasional investment banker when the situation calls for it, when there's something impeding a value that I think I see, or even worse, something that's risking dissipating that value, then I get involved as an activist. I think it's something that a successful value investor needs to have in his toolkit. I also made the point that there's a lot of things that happen before you end up going the route of a full proxy battle. There's letters to be written, private, personal, or public letters in some cases, to try to influence the situation. The point that proxy battles should be well thought out before you enter into one, because they are very time-consuming and very expensive propositions. And that wherever possible, I personally prefer to preserve my energies and get another investor to take on the activist role and support him. Failing that, I have some trusted business associates that I would consider putting on a board to represent my interests, because I don't like to be on the board myself and all the trading kind of restrictions that entails. But from time to time, I do end up on a board. And what I found is that every board is different. They're like snowflakes. Some boards, the people work well together and move an agenda forward. And other boards, the environment can be very toxic, and you don't know really who your friends are, and you're friends on one issue or not your friends on another issue. So it can be a very complex situation. And the last thing I said was that I think for me personally, my biggest successes have been on the situations that I've actually avoided taking on the central activist role, where I was tempted to do so because I was engaging in some activist activity, but I didn't see the opportunity to successfully run a proxy battle. In some places, some situations, somebody else came in and did it instead of me. But it's those situations where I didn't act, where I was patient, that I think I suggested were my biggest successes, even though I've acted on several occasions and been on several boards. It's where I held back and didn't spend the money or the time or the energy going down a bad path were to my mind, my biggest successes. So that's what we talked about. Again, it's a blog. It's on LinkedIn. Have a look if you want.